What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I want to show you guys how to get 8 different clan boss chests every single day. I'm gonna show you how I'm doing it, what team I'm using. I'm gonna teach you a couple of things about clan boss, how to optimize your team, how to get the most out of it, and all around, the more chests you're taking every single day, the more rewards you're bringing home. More shards, more gems, more books, etc. You know how it goes. Now, before we move over to talk about all that, if you guys enjoy the content, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot and it means a lot to me. That being said, there are a few things that we gotta take in consideration. Yes, we do need champions. Yes, we do need gear to make decent teams that can one key each one of the difficulties. It is a bit of a more end game, but even if you are not able to one key everything and you're just getting 2 key on Ultra Nightmare, 1 key on Nightmare, 1 key on Brutal, you're still bringing home 6 different chests every single day with tons of rewards. So let's jump straight into it. Now, I personally have multiple clan boss teams. I use the Barrier on hard because I needed to do the quest with a rare champion. But for the other difficulties, I'm using my Helicath comp, okay? And the reason for it is because it allows me to go on Ultra Nightmare and one key it in around 7 to 8 minutes. I can one key Nightmare in around 4 minutes, which is definitely amazing because it saves me a lot of time. Doing an entire run with the Barrier takes around 17 to 18 minutes. And to get to that max damage for one key probably takes around 12 minutes. Very important to pretty much hit all the difficulties. I've actually used 2 keys on an Ultra Nightmare there like a pleb. I forgot that I've done it. And when we are talking about hard, brutal, the reason why you want to do it is because you are able to get void shards from there. You know how rare they are. I'm going to show you how to set up my Helicath comp, and I'm going to teach you a couple of things about clan boss. Some of you guys might know this already, some of you might not. So this will really help you a lot, and I'm gonna give you a couple of different examples for the team as well. Now, let me quickly start by telling you what exactly you need in order to make this team work. What champions can you replace and who you cannot replace. Of course, Helicath is the only champion that cannot be replaced in here because he's the massive carry. Thankfully, it was a fusion, so a lot of people managed to get this champion by completing the fusion. He brings block damage, increased defense, the shield, weaken, he counterattacks. He has the aura, he's the stun target on most of the affinities. He's a one-man army, a very powerful champion. Now, if you want to make this team work on every affinity, you're going to need to have a champion that has block damage on a 3-turn cooldown. We have Cardiel. That's what I'm using because I have ally attack. It allows me to deal more damage fast, okay? That's what I pretty much care about. If not, you can use, of course, champion like Raiho Bone Spear. And there you go. Everything works perfectly. You don't have Raiho. Oh, maybe you've done the Tatura fusion, which again was a pretty straightforward fusion. Bang. You're gonna make this work in the same way with Cardiel. You don't have Tatura, but maybe you have Blind Seer. That can work as well. So you have quite a few options for this champion. And that's gonna work on Spirit and all the other affinities. Let's just say you don't care about Spirit. And of course, I don't need to mention it. It's going to work on Nightmare. It's going to work on Brutal and Hard, okay? But if you want to make it work on every other affinity but Spirit, you can use a champion like Doom Priest instead of Anax. The reason for it is because Anax is always taking the first turn, you see? So that means that he's going to be able to cleanse the stun every single time. No matter what, he's going to be able to cleanse the stun, and your team is going to work just perfect, and you're going to have increased attack from Doom Priest as well. So let's just put Anax instead. Then, instead of Krela, you can use, for example, a Ferrokin the Fat, or a Fane, or I don't know, whatever you guys have available on your accounts, as long as they are decent champions for clan boss. And it's going to work just fine on every affinity except Spirit, okay? Spirit will land decreased speed, and Doom Priest just won't be able to cleanse it. It's not working with these speeds. Very important to be aware of that. Now, if we're going over to my clan boss team, I'm gonna show you what I'm using. I gave you a few examples in there, but I want to point out a couple of things. The presets for this team, guys, are very important just to make sure every champion is prioritizing the right skill. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot use Relentless here just for the simple fact that you're gonna lose the block damage buff and your champion is going to die. So don't get any crazy ideas. We are using champions like Turvold that is gaining an extra turn. So I'm actually blocking that skill. I'm never using it. I don't want to have the increased speed. I don't want him to use it. So I'm just going to use the A1 and the A3. On a Cardial, for example, I want to prioritize the cleanse, the A3, because he's on a 3-turn cooldown. The other skill is on a 4-turn cooldown, and he prioritizes the ally attack over the A2. So we want to make sure we're changing that. On Helicath, we are prioritizing the A3, but usually he's already doing that without a problem. I don't really think the A2 is throwing him off. So pretty much that's about it that you need to prioritize. Depending on what other champions you might use, of course, make sure that you are prioritizing the right skills on them. Right now I have Spirit on Ultra Nightmare. I have two different options. Either I'm gonna use the team on full auto and I'm changing the stun target, which will mean that I need to change the lead. Either I'm gonna manual for the first 2-3 turns, which we're gonna do in just a second. But right here, I have Turvold as the stun target. And the main thing that I want to point out, and a lot of people don't know, these champions can actually survive pretty much all the way up to turn 50, guys, if you have the shield from Helicath on them, because they have increased defense as well. If the stun target will be different because of Affinity and Helicath is still the lead and you're getting the 30% increased defense from the passive too, is very, very solid, because that means that your champion is tankier. Now, I had a Jintoro non-empowered in this team and was working on Force Affinity yesterday when I was doing my key. And guess what? He survived all the way to turn 50 because of Helicath. He didn't have like super crazy stats. I'm actually going to show you the stats in a bit. But if you have decent gear, you're going to be able to keep your champions alive. Even if you don't manage to go all the way to turn 50, if the builds are decent on your champions, you're going to 1-key way before you get into the territory of being concerned about, oh, my champion might die because of the stun. So if we're gonna go all the way like this, Krayla, she has a bug at the moment, and the whole problem with it, let's actually go in the run. Let's do the run. Krayla has a problem, and I actually reported it. Her A1 should put the shield on the champion with the lowest HP. Well, she does it differently. Instead of doing that, whenever she's using the A1, she's putting the shield on the lead every single time. It doesn't matter who's the champion with the lowest HP. She's gonna prioritize it on the lead. And that's a bit unfortunate because it messes up the shield from Helicath. And right now, how I have Turvold as the stun target in the lead, that means that the shield is gonna get replaced pretty much 80% of the times. You see? It just happened. So that shield got replaced. Instead of having a big shield, we ended up with having a crappy shield from Krayla. Hopefully, Plarium will fix this soon, because Krayla, she's pretty disappointing like this, if no. It's actually pretty annoying to have that in here. If I would have the shield from my Helicath all the way up to turn 50 without Krayla messing it up, my Turvold will have absolutely no problem in surviving the stun. And I'm gonna explain you why, guys. A lot of people think that the stun is affected by having decreased attack and etc. The stun on the clan boss is affected by your champion's HP. So if my Turvold will have 50k HP, the clan boss will destroy him very quick. If my Turvold has 32k HP and has 2k defense, he's gonna survive just fine. It's all about how much HP you're having and having the right defense in order to survive the stun all the way up to turn 50. Of course, every now and then, a bad RNG might happen and the boss is gonna hit you very, very hard and kill your champion, you know? But it's not very common, especially if you're shielded. You're not gonna have any issues in surviving. So I'm gonna get probably all the way up to turn 40 plus with this team. I'm gonna fast forward towards the end, guys. I'm gonna show you where we are, and then I'm gonna bring in my other team that I'm gonna have to manual for just a couple of seconds. I'm gonna walk you through all the presets for Ultra Nightmare, for Nightmare, how exactly it works on Brutal and on Hard, just to make it a bit more clear for every single one of you guys. There we go. So we already reached the 1 key. You've seen Krayla, she is a bit of an issue with the A1, but if you're not using Krayla in this team, you don't really have to worry about the stun so much and the shield getting replaced, you know, because Helicath is still gonna keep his shield. Krayla, unfortunately, she has this bug at the moment, which hopefully is gonna get fixed in the near future. You see, the champion still survives. I'm actually gonna let it go all the way to see when is Turvold actually dying here, you know, like we're gonna have any sort of issues, or we're actually gonna be able to survive all the way up to 1050. It really depends if Krayla messes up our shield or no. I feel like that's gonna be the main issue. But 8 minutes and we got the 1 key, you know. Now we're at 9 minutes, which is fine, but it's definitely very, very solid to be able to get it done like that. Just click escape and don't look at it again, you know. That's the whole idea behind it. Okay, so Krayla used that. The main idea is Cardiel using ally attack, or he won't be using the ally attack, you know. Okay, he's not, so we have a big shield, you see. We're still on over 50% HP on Turvold, and we're turn 36, guys. If you have the shield from Helicath, you're gonna be just fine. I think my Nightmare is actually on Force, so I'm gonna put my Jintoro as the stun target, so you guys can see that he's gonna go all the way up to 1050 without a problem, you know. Now, Fane, she's not great as a stun target. She's very squishy, but she's the same affinity as Helicath, so that will never really happen unless you're messing up all the stats on your champions, you know. Turn 38, 86 million, and this entire run is only around 12 minutes, you know. So if you compare it with the Barrier, even if you let it go all the way to the max, you are saving like 6 minutes per run, you know, per full run, I mean. And we lost him because we had a small shield from Krayla. That's kind of like what messed up the whole thing. If I'm taking Krayla out, this will actually not happen anymore. So I'm gonna leave this damage like this. So we've done the run in full auto with Turvold as the lead, as stun target. If I'm actually bringing in Helicath as the stun target, and instead of going full auto, I'm just gonna manual for the very first 2 turns just to delay his skills. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do it, guys. And we're pretty much prioritizing the exact same things, but instead of starting on full auto, I'm gonna go on manual. The benefit of having Helicath as the lead is that we're getting the 30% increased defense from the aura, and he's much tankier in terms of defense than Turvold. So survivability wise, he's gonna survive much longer in the stun. He's gonna go all the way to 1050 without a problem. Now, if we're gonna start the run just to kind of like show you what's happening here, I'm not gonna use the block damage because I need to delay it till after the stun. That's why I need to manual it, because he's gonna overlap my Cardiel on the second round and he's gonna lose the block buffs and he's gonna get the stun. That's why you cannot go on full auto here. No matter how I played around with the speeds, the decreased speed will eventually throw it off if I'm not doing it like this, you know. So very important just to have everything on point, guys. With Krayla, we can actually land the attack up. Can actually go like this with him because we don't even have defense down, so that's very important. And now I'm gonna prioritize this on a Cardiel. I wanna have the cleanse in, you know. Very, very important. And now we can actually use this skill, not a problem, but I still do not want to use the A3. Not yet. So we got protected by decreased speed, so we should be able to just go in as usual. Business as usual, you know. The only problem is that Helicath usually gets the stun here. What happened is that the master is actually extended the block debuffs on Cardiel now, so it's not gonna get the stun, which is okay. What are the chances for that to happen while we're recording? But it happened, which is fine. We're gonna imagine that he actually got the stun, you know. So right now he should be stunned, but the master is actually prevented that because Cardiel's buffs got extended by 1 turn. So now he would normally not take a turn. And because we want to have the block damage available, we're going to make sure we get to this point. We can click auto now, and this team will work just fine all the way up to turn 50, having block damage, having pretty much everything that we need to have on the team. We have the clans, we have the block buffs, ally attack, increase attack, nothing will go wrong like this. And Helicath is much stronger as a stun target. I already mentioned that, but you can't really compare the champions. So you see, he took 2 turns in that round. And now, once he's gonna get on the next round, everything is gonna be in sync. But that's normal. It's happening on every single affinity, regardless who's the stun target and who's not, you know. Oh, there we go. He's gonna go now, and then he's gonna come back in with block damage. And we're gonna go all the way to the end. I'm actually not gonna complete this run, guys, because I've already done a key. I just wanted to show you how to set it up as the second option if we are talking about Spirit Affinity. That will be the same even if you're using Tatura, even if you're using Raiho, even if you're using Blind Seer. You're gonna want to make it in the exact same way to make sure this team will actually survive longer, you know. Let me quickly show you a magic stun target that's non-empowered and how it's gonna survive on Force Affinity all the way up to turn 50. Talking about Nightmare, you're gonna have to adjust a couple of things, and it's very easy to do it on the preset, but I'm just showing you on the calculator. You wanna have Helicath to open either with the A1 or the A2. You wanna have a 1 turn delay on the A3 to make sure the block damage comes in sync on the AoEs. You see how it shows here A3, A3 all the time on Helicath, A3 again here, where my mouse is. And on Cardiel, you don't want to start with the A2. You want to start with the A3, so he starts using the A2 on the second AoE all the time, the same way we've done it on Nightmare. Now I'm going to use Jintoro instead of A next. He's going to be the stun target, so you're going to see how that's going to play out. So we're going to go to Nightmare. I'm going to go all the way to the setup. That's why I have 2 different setups in here. You see, one is for Nightmare and it's set up to work slightly different. Just with the cooldowns of the skills, how they're prioritizing actually, not cooldown. So we're gonna put in here Jintoro instead. And you see, Helicath opens with the A1. Cardiel opens with the A3. Jintoro, he can open with the A1 as well. And these are the stats on Jintoro. 31k HP, 2.1k defense, okay? Forget about the damage stats, just focus on the survivability because he will be the stun target. I do have Krella in here, but she's not going to be prioritized. And the good part about it, if I'm using Krella here, is that now all that shield that was getting replaced from her A1 is gonna go on the lead. It's not gonna go on Jintoro. So Helicath is gonna get messed up by Krella's shield, not Jintoro. So Jintoro is gonna be just fine all the way up to turn 50 on Force Affinity. It's gonna work in the exact same way for Ultra Nightmare as it does for Nightmare 2. He survived on Ultra Nightmare for me yesterday, and I just had to change him with Anax because honestly, I'm disappointed in his damage. I'm not very impressed with Jintoro's damage. I really wanted to play him around a bit, but honestly, I'm not very impressed with what he can do, you know? So you see, the team is in sync. Was full auto, not a problem. The stun goes to Jintoro. He does have the block damage from Cardiel. So nothing wrong can happen in here. It's gonna go all the way up to the end like this. And I'm gonna show you the damage there. Once this run is done, I'm gonna show you the stats on my champions, kind of like what gear sets I have on them, and show you a couple of other things. If I would have better blessings on them, because I only have a 1-star Brimstone on Cardiel now, this damage could go crazy. I could get to a 1k probably in around 6 minutes and 30 seconds with these champions having the right blessings, you know, having Phantom Touch, having a Cruelty on at least one of the champions. I want to show you one more stun just to see what kind of like Krella messes it up. Actually here, you see she already messed up my my Helicath with the small shield, but now Jintoro actually has a very solid shield. He has the lead from a Helicath, and he's a healthy, good stun target. So we already managed to 1-key it before turn 20, so probably by turn 16 was a 1-key without a problem. And we're still going all the way to the end just to show you that he's gonna survive up to turn 50. And here we are, guys, turn 47. This is the last stun. The reason why I've done the entire clan boss run was just to prove a point, okay? So there are a few things that you need to have if you have no Cardial in the team. You need your champion to be able to heal back. If no, of course, he's not gonna survive. So having him on lifesteal would be pretty beneficial. Having that block damage around is gonna allow him to heal from stun to stun, not a problem. He got so many weak hits now that honestly I kind of like lost track. The damage is pretty underwhelming for the team. Jintoro doesn't do much damage, especially on Force Affinity, and he's not that great for this sort of teams. He's amazing on teams that go on a 2-to-1 ratio and stuff like that, you know. So Helicath actually managed to survive past turn 50. The rest are dead, so it's gonna be like game over now. But we managed to score 115 million damage with no one else but Jintoro as the stun target. You see, he only has 15 million damage, Krela only 12 million damage. But the whole point is that Jintoro managed to survive. So if you have him on lifesteal, if you're not using a Cardial or a Raiho, they're gonna survive. You're gonna need to have Helicath as well on lifesteal if you don't have any champion that heals in the team. If no, it's just not going to work out as a stun target. Let me show you the stats on all my champions. So this is my Krela. She's on a reflex accessories. How I mentioned, this skill right here is bugged, so hopefully they're gonna fix that. Total stats, 178 speed. I have full crit rate on all my champions, guys, because I'm not only using them in clan boss on this team, okay? So I want to make sure they are on point in the other parts of the game too. Masteries, nothing that affects turn meter whatsoever. So I have War Master as tier 6. The next champion that we actually used in here is Turvold. I have him on a lethal, aka savage, and a crit rate set. Total stats, 6.5k attack, 176 speed, 40k HP. You see, he has very high HP. If I would knock down the HP on him a bit more, he's gonna survive even longer on the stun on a Ultra Nightmare, as an idea, you know? You wanna have as low HP as possible. 2.5k defense, 176 speed, full crit, 268 crit damage. You cannot use his A2, okay? So that's very important. Offense and defense 3. The next champion that we had in here, no one else but Cardial. Where is he hiding? So how I mentioned, instead of Cardial, you can use Raiho Bone Spear, you can use Tatura, but then you need to have lifesteal on your stun target. You can use Blind Seer, but then you need to have lifesteal on your stun target. So my Cardial is on a Toxic set. The reason why I gave him the Toxic set is because he counterattacks more than any other champion, and like that, he's gonna land more poisons. Total stats, 4.3k attack, 171 speed, full crit, 271 crit damage. Masteries, we have offense and support 3, and I have War Master as tier 6, you see. Lasting Gifts is what actually affected the buffs on Helicath before, when we were manualing to show you on Spirit on Ultra Nightmare. The next champion that we had in here, no one else but Jintoro, I think, right? Jintoro was the next champion. Where is he hiding? There we go. Reflex. So how I mentioned, I'm a bit disappointed with Jintoro for this sort of teams. He really works well on Bariter, on mid-food teams where he goes on a 2-to-1 ratio or higher, and he has Relentless, or he just goes on a 2-to-1 ratio, because like that, he gets to use the A3 more often and the A2. Reflex seems like he's just not providing enough stuff for him to make it count, you know. These are the total stats. 31k HP, 6.2k attack, 2.1k defense, 186 speed, 101 crit rate, 274 crit damage, enough accuracy. Masteries, we have offense and support 3. Life Drinker, of course, is gonna help a bit with his healing. And I think we had two champions left, sorry. Helicath, just mixed sets. If you don't have a Cardial in your team or a Raiho Bone Spear, he needs to be on lifesteal if you want him to survive as a stun target. Total stats, 37k HP, 5.2k defense, 248 speed, full crit, full crit damage, and accuracy because I want him to land the weaken. Masteries, offense and support 3, sniper and master hexer. Getting the defense 3 on him is irrelevant. And the last champion was Anax. let me quickly find him. So Anax, Jintoro are kind of like replacing each other. Anax is built on mixed stats, crit damage, speed, and cruel. Total stats: 32k HP, 6.1k attack, 1.6k defense, 188 speed, 95 crit rate, 268 crit damage, 243 accuracy. In terms of his defense, is pretty low. It's gonna be hard for him to be the stun target, but you should never worry about him being the stun target as long as Helicath is in the same team. Just to make it clear, they are the same affinity, so Anax won't become the stun target no matter what, unless you're messing up stats, rotation, or something like that, you know. Masteries, I actually have offense and support. Again, Sniper, Master Hexer to help with the A1 and with the other debuffs. And we have War Master as tier 6. That was all for this video, guys. Hopefully you found it helpful. And let me know in the comments down below how many clan boss chests you are taking home every single day. What clan boss team you're running. That was all for this video. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching. And I'll catch you all soon on the next one. Peace.